North County, San Diego was always the dream. Just the community, the feel, the beaches, I just always loved it. I was born in San Diego, but I moved up to Seattle when I was 10 and spent the next 20 years up there. Graduated high school, graduated college, got married, had kids, started doing ministry, and saw God do incredible things. Man, it was a great time, but definitely always felt in my heart that I wanted to get back down to North County. Always felt in my heart that that was what God had wanted for me and for my family. In 2009, my wife began to feel the same thing. God began to stir in her heart that we were to get down there. I ended up getting on staff at one of the greatest churches, I believe, in our nation, North Coast Church, and took over a young adult ministry there. And we saw, again, God do incredible things where 60 to 80 young adults on a weekly basis turned into anywhere between 500 to over 600 young adults. And in the midst of all this incredible stuff that God was doing with the Jordan Young Adults and at North Coast Church, again, God began to stir it in my heart. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I just really began to feel this desire. It's almost like a holy discontentment where I knew that there was something else and something next for us. And so my wife and I began to explore some of the offers that would come our way to take over churches, and some of them incredible offers, some of them in amazing cities and great churches. But anytime I thought about actually taking one of those positions, and anytime I thought about leaving North County, leaving Oceanside, my heart would hurt. It would literally hurt, and I just could not do it. So after tons of prayer and tons of discussion, and my wife and I going through counseling just to figure out what would be next, we landed on a decision, what we believe to be a God-given dream of planting a church. So I talked to the leadership at North Coast Church, and then we announced it to the young adult ministry, the Jordan. Are you tired? Are you worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. The unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. And so what we can pull here from Matthew chapter 9 to Matthew chapter 11, you can pull all throughout Scripture, all throughout the New Testament, is that there are massive amounts of people who are in desperate need of hope. There are many people who are harassed and helpless. There are many people who are burdened. There are many people who are weary, and they all need Jesus. And the answer is to send people out. The answer is to multiply our efforts. We just have to see the need. We have to see the need and begin to answer the need. Knowing that it takes more than one church, more than one movement, more than one faith community. We are answering the call to be sent out, to go into our communities and find those who are harassed and helpless, those who are weary and burdened, and to help them learn the unforced rhythms of grace. And so understanding this and seeing that we need to multiply our efforts to reach a region, myself and my family, in January 2020, we're going to launch a brand new church called Rhythm Church. And we're going to partner with the other great churches in North County, San Diego, to see our region reached, to see the harassed and the helpless know the Lord. It's going to be phenomenal. Yo, wait, hold on. We're actually getting a little ahead of ourselves, because before I told the Jordan, Aaron and I sat down and we told our family.
I think I know what it is.
I don't know. I can't know if I can get Aaron. If you can lean over into this way a little bit. Okay, so after like a lot of prayer and a lot of discussion and a lot of talking and really years of it, honestly, we've decided in January of 2020 we're going to plant a church.
Cool. I I called it.
You knew it? Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're going to start a church. We're going to use this year to ramp up, to like fundraise and to build teams and to think and all that different stuff. Yeah. So I don't know, like, we don't have any like major details yet. So, but I know it's going to be a great church. We're going to call it Rhythm Church.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Isla?
I don't know, I'm just scared for the change.
What are you scared for the change for?
How will we be financially secured?
We won't. Like, it's a major step of faith. That was an emotional night, and honestly, even recapping it, I get emotional right now. It was filled with excitement, but it was also filled with real fears. Like, Dad, are we going to be able to like live? Are we going to be financially secure? What does that mean for us and the friends that we have at the church we're at now? And we heard all of our kids out. And at the very end of it, they were all on board. As a family, we were all on board, moving together as one. I think it's going to be killer. But if you guys don't want to do it, we won't do it.
I want to do it.
And ultimately, God, we just trust you in this. The Morris family trusts you. In Jesus' name. Amen. So once it was all out, it was go time, and things started to get real as you're going onto a website and you're applying to a network that plants churches, and you're writing down Rhythm Church, and you're writing down the cities that you want to possibly plant in. It all becomes very, very real. But the Morris family wasn't the only people that were involved. You see, the Morris family goes beyond the Morris family. We desperately wanted a team to do this with. And the team that was in my heart was the team that I'd worked with for the past 8 years at the Young Adult Ministry, because truly they are family to us. And any time that I would think about actually going and taking another job, part of the reason why my heart hurt is because I didn't want to leave that team. But to be honest, there was a real fear in me that when I came out and said, hey, I'm planting a church, I really would love for you to come with and plant with me, there was that fear of going, well, what if they say no? Like, what if they say, man, good on you, Jeff, go for it. We'll be rooting for you, but from over here. So with much prayer and careful wording, tons of fear, but tons of faith, I began to talk to each of them individually. I talked to George and Kaylee, and I talked to James, and just said, hey, this is the vision God's placed in my heart. I see you can be a part of it. What do you feel like God's speaking to you? And each and every one of them, after they prayed, after they discussed things with their families, they were like, yeah, let's do this. Hey, Rhythm Church. There you go, buddy. Come on. Here we are. The first ever Rhythm Church team gathering right now. Come on. We got it. Yeah, that's the fastest way to grow a church. Make babies. There we go. Again, it was family coming over. It was James's son, Corbin, running around. It was Kaylee, pregnant with Zion, holding Remy. It was doing whatever we could just to hustle, to make things happen. And God began to make things happen, even despite us at times. The question that we kept getting back in response is, that's cool, but where are you guys going to be meeting at? And while we didn't necessarily have a clue, God knew exactly where we'd be meeting. And that whole story is a miracle in and of itself. I'm about to go check out the possibility of a meeting space.